that stuff, and I just didn't want to deal with that anymore, nor do I really want to deal with it now. So I'm trying to figure out how to keep making dances. I don't like have a point where I've got like an organization and all of that stuff. So it really was that was like I wanted to be very like DIY and cheap. And oddly enough, we did end up, we got a cash grant to do that project, but and so we paid the dancers with that. But it was sort of like a creative, like, well, I'd like to do something, and I don't want to go out and fundraise and write the proposal.
Is there a question in the back there? Yeah, in front.
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking about the place of the video camera as a critter in the environment, in the site-specific environment. And I wonder if any of us can do anything without imagining it on YouTube simultaneously. And are we all post-indigenous people now because we can't imagine, I mean, an indigenous person couldn't imagine it being recorded and shown back at a later time. And can we never go back to that state?
I think there's something that's occurring to me, excuse me for being so gabby, but you know, going back to indigenous people, going back to the origins of dance, people weren't paid to dance. It was an honor to dance. It was so much part of their lives that it gave them a spiritual boost, and they wanted to dance. I mean, our culture has gotten so commercialized that we've forgotten the spiritual value behind dance. Dance was always a way to really touch your spiritual being. And it was an honor to be a lead dancer. The idea of being paid was the last thing in the world. The idea was, this is my way of praying. This is my way of teaching my children. This is the way that I developed the value of my community. This was something you did out of love. And now we've become totally commercialized. So we have to worry about proposals and getting grants and how much you're going to pay the dancers and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, right now at the age of 89, I've been dancing all my life. And I've just gotten to the point where, yeah, I want to go back to being primitive. I want to go back to being just early mankind. And if I'm going to continue living my life with dirty feet, and I'm going to dance because I love it. Woo!
Yeah. I wanted to add one other thing because I do think there is that side where we're, you know, professional dancers in our struggles and so on, but I think people are still dancing everywhere. I mean, you know, there's so much dancing in the street right now. And I think that maybe people are not able to articulate the source right now, but I do think that people they're getting that spiritual boost. You know, that they are being moved, that they are being pushed to feel things in a different way. I mean, I feel like more than ever, I mean, there's always trendy dancing, but I mean, people dancing in clubs, salsa, everything, I mean, that's real dancing too. That's their stuff. And the places that people go to, the endorphins that they generate, the expansion of whatever it is they're experiencing those moments, and their connection to their bodies is real in those moments, and they don't necessarily need to be classified in this, you know, what if it's professional, it's better or whatever. I mean, I think that we as our animal selves are still reaching for that, yet we don't necessarily still connect it to the, you know, to those deeper, we can't articulate what those deeper things are, but they're there. And it would be great if we could erase the thing in between and the grant and the, you know, that it goes all in. Even this moment where I'm here is my
The one other thing I'm thinking about that is that as performers, I don't know if the like specter of the camera is that different from the audience being there. So the performing experience to me has always been like kind of living in this place in between, like trying to have my experience and be true to the experience, but at the same time having the awareness of people being there watching. And I think the camera is very similar to somebody being there watching. But I do think in general we are post-Indigenous, and that people do, you know, have this like outside awareness of themselves a lot in the audience, in a dance, everywhere. But also, as somebody who's making video now, I wouldn't want to get rid of that. And I do think that things, just because they are on film, I like to think that things that are on film have the capacity to touch people and move people also.
For sure.
I just say that crumping is a great example of that.
Sorry, crumping is a great example of that. I was just trying to tap into that. I mean, and that is primitive. I mean, that dance is really primitive, and it comes out of the street, and it comes out of a very intense experience, life experience, and it's being pushed and expressed in this quite extraordinary way. So I think it's still there.
Or, I mean, I think that one way that we can be post-Indigenous is that we can go to Yerba Buena and do the circle dance on election night with Anna. And so have both in a weird way of being both knowing that YouTube is there, but knowing that we can sometimes at least access this Indigenous aspect that's still inside of us and living.
Well, one of the things that we like to do here with the Dance Discourse Project is to wrap it up while we still have something to say, because we have wine and we have snacks, and we hope that you will stick around and talk with each other, continue this conversation, and also speak with the panelists. And I also just want to give a shout out, because as we talk about everyone participating in dance, now is a great time to do that because of National Dance Week. So if you didn't already pick up one of the cute little green booklets that Keegan is waving back there, because there are just hundreds of opportunities to participate and witness dance for free in the next 10 days. So I encourage you to enjoy that.
Can I just say one other thing? That, in terms of National Dance Week, it's not announced publicly, but we are having an open rehearsal on a Friday, the May 1st, and I'm inviting all of you to come to the invitational open rehearsal Friday from 2 to 3:30.
Thank you. Great. So yeah, stick around. There'll be wine appearing magically over in that corner, and we'd love to hear more intimately from you. So yeah, don't stop now.